If you want to build natural muscle after 50, or whether you are 30, you've come to the right place. Now, today's video is a continuation from my post-workout video last week, which seemed to have galvanized a lot of conversation, definitely in the comments. So today's video, I'm going to answer a couple of those questions, and I'm also going to tackle a couple of the overwhelming themes that I saw in the comments. So thank you for anyone that's watching today's video that left a comment last week. So let's backtrack a little bit and talk about post-workout nutrition, because when you're looking at building natural muscle, doesn't matter what age, you have two choices. You can either do the bare minimal, or you could try to optimize as much as possible. So you're in the most optimal position to grow. So let's just backtrack, and I'm going to tell you, because actually I just finished my workout an hour ago and I'm due to have my shake. So before I have my shake, I want to get this video out of the way, and I want to tell you what is in this shake. So let's just start with the obvious. We've got a couple scoops of whey isolate in our shake. That forms the basis, or should form the basis, of any post-workout piece of nutrition. It's quick absorbing, gets to work, but also in here we have some collagen peptides. Now, there's a good reason why I put collagen peptides in here, and this is it. About 16 years ago, I was involved in a serious car accident, hence the big scar on my right arm. The doctor said to me, "Listen, Simon, I don't want you to train anymore. The plate that we put in there is only going to last 6 weeks. You're going to need a further operation because your bones on the ulnar bone is not reuniting. So I don't want you to lift any more weights because you might end up losing your right arm." Well, let's fast forward. That was 2006. Let's fast forward to today. Now, I'm still training. I've still got the plate, the same plate in this right arm. But one thing that I did do, and I always do, is I'm quite diligent about what I do. So I realized all the way back then that I needed to look after my joints. Hence why I use collagen. Not only is it good for your skin, your gut health, and all the other good stuff, when it comes to building muscle, especially over 50, it's something that you need to pay attention to, is joint, tendon, and ligament health. So I use collagen. You may then say to me, well, why? Because isn't collagen got the same kind of amino acids as whey protein? They have a similar crossover, but there are some amino acids that are in collagen that we don't see so much of in whey protein. And also, collagen also promotes connective tissue protein synthesis. So whey protein goes after stimulating muscle growth. Collagen is used to promote strength and vitality and growth in your joints, tendons, and ligaments. There is proline, hydroxyproline, which we don't find in whey, and glycine. 3 very important amino acids when it comes to looking after your joints. So if you're 50, you might want to consider that. Now also, I put in a little bit of L-leucine, and this seems to have caused a little bit of a furore. Why are you putting in L-leucine? Seems rather overboard. Well, L-leucine in its free form gets to work quicker than the L-leucine that is in the whey protein. See, I wait an hour until I have my protein shake. So when I actually do take my protein shake down, I want it to get to work fast. And the L-leucine that is in the whey can take quite a few hours to extract and get to work. I want to kickstart the muscle building and repair section of my post-workout. So hence I put in 5 grams of L-leucine. I also, before I have my post-workout, I have 3 grams of HMB. Now, HMB has been shown in scientific environments to promote muscle protein synthesis, reduce muscle breakdown, and also to limit the amount of post-workout aches and pains that you feel after training. So hence why I take HMB. I also have an orange. Reason why, like I explained last week, is that the orange will put back and replace some of the glycogen in my liver. So you have a certain amount of energy and glycogen that comes from your liver that gets used up in training. The fructose in here will go somewhat to replacing that, what we burnt up in our training. I also use fish oil or cod liver oil. Now, a few comments were directed towards the amount of supplements that I use. You should be using cod liver or fish oil normally on your day-to-day. I just choose to use it an hour after training because one of the benefits of fish oil or cod liver oil is that it tackles inflammation. So I just use it to help initiate that in my post-workout. And that is the same with my vitamin C. You should be having vitamin C on a normal day-to-day basis. I choose to save some of my vitamin C for post-workout because it tackles inflammation. Now, I think that is all of my post-workouts. Now I'm going to, first of all, talk about a couple of the comments that I saw. So the first one was, and it's kind of it's a compliment. I've always taken it as a compliment. When people see guns like this and a physique like this at 54 on Saturday, the 19th of October, people stand and they think, are you sure this guy said he's natural? Now, I'm one of these men that are blessed. From the man upstairs, I'm blessed to be able to be training for 42 years. One time, you know, like on Friday, I was buying a shirt and I looked in the mirror in the changing room and I thought, damn, Simon, you're going to be 54. You're not on TRT, you're not on steroids, and you're still hammering it in the gym. Although I only train in the gym twice a week, I'm still going hell for leather in those 2 training sessions. Now, if you happen to be on TRT, that's fine. That's absolutely fine because one of the most important things that you can do, especially when you're approaching the middle milestone of life, is to get your hormones checked out. They are not just for training, but for your day-to-day well-being, getting stuff done. I just happen to use supplements like Shilajit, Tomcat Alley, ashwagandha. I happen to use those on a regular. I cycle on and off them, but I use them regularly. And with that and a good diet and also taking advantage of being able to boost my testosterone on a natural level, like through my diet, eating whole eggs, getting adequate amounts of vitamin D3. Now, let's talk about D3 for a moment, especially if you are black. D3 is one of those supplements that when I went to the doctor to get myself checked out, I was low on D3. This was about 10 years ago. And it took me having to go up to 10,000 plus IUs a day to get optimized D3. But once I started doing that, I noticed other parts of my life started to flourish. I flourished in the bedroom. I flourished just doing my day-to-day and all the other things that vitamin D3 is good for. So, and remember, we live on this side of the world where sunshine isn't a given unless you're living in Florida and somebody up Miami and those sort of places. We're not blessed to have sunshine, not the kind of sunshine that gives us that vitamin D3 really good and that can go and break through the skin. So we have to supplement that. So these are the things that I do to make sure that I am optimizing all that I've been blessed to have. So that was one thing. The other opinion that seemed to flow quite regularly through my comments was the fact that this all looked a bit like overkill. Now, okay, if you're just going to the gym and you're getting your workout done and you tick that off and that's great, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're like me that wants to go to the gym and optimize every facet of his life to make sure that when I train, nothing's wasted. When I initiate recovery, nothing's wasted. I'm optimizing every angle of muscle building, longevity, and vitality. Once you start thinking in those terms, things like this don't seem so expensive, because if you think that's expensive, just try being sick. We know how much, especially if you live in America like I do, you know how expensive it is just to be sick. So when I look at my supplementation, especially not just my post-workout, but all of my supplements, I have good reasons why I take those, and that is to be as optimal and as healthy as possible. Now, I do split my supplements into a couple of categories. I have my essentials, like my D3s, my K2, my magnesium, my potassium. And that just reminds me, I also put a hydration pack inside of here, because hydration, getting your magnesium, sodium and potassium is absolutely essential. They have so many different jobs to do inside your body, from blood sugar regulation and thyroid health and all of the good stuff to do with your metabolism. You need to be up on that stuff. So when you now think to yourself, okay, I want to be healthy, you then have to think to yourself about some of the supplements you take and some of the ones that you might be missing out on. So that's the first bit. Now I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to answer now. So the first one was from a gentleman who asked me about creatine. Now, funny enough, the question was a little bit like, do you like creatine pre-workout or post-workout? So let me answer it. Taking creatine as a pre-workout may not be ideal when combined with caffeine, because the two substances can compete for the similar receptor sites, potentially reducing the effectiveness of both. Creatine enhances energy production by increasing creatine stores in the muscle, while caffeine stimulates the central nervous system to increase alertness and performance. Some research suggests that caffeine can interfere with creatine's ability to enhance performance by blocking the androgen receptors, which can inhibit muscle relaxation and recovery. A 2001 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that caffeine might counteract some of the creatine's benefits for muscle contraction. Now, here's a reason why you might want to consider placing it in your post-workouts. We have things called osmotic sensors that can tell when a muscle is expanding. They get triggered to grow when the muscle cell gets engorged. Now you have muscle cells being more receptive to muscle protein synthesis signaling that occurs post-workout. Hence, that makes the perfect and ideal scenario for adding creatine to your post-workout. Okay, question number 2, and I'm just going to abbreviate the question so we can get to the end and answer it. So the question was, is there any scientific facts to why you wait an hour after training? And is this a question that we need to take to Mike Ismatel? Now, I have the total respect. I think Mike Ismatel is the don when it comes to anything to do with hypertrophy, the science behind hypertrophy. I haven't seen any video from Mr. Ismatel that's directed to building muscle over 50. So with that being said, a certain amount of science needs to be involved in what you do when you're building muscle after 50. But there are two other elements that I like to use, and that is common sense and experience. Now, just adding those last two elements really takes you a long way. So I know a little bit about my body, and we know just from science that your body hates the thought of building muscle. It's very expensive to build and maintain muscle when it comes to calories and just the thermogenic effect of having to chew your way through protein and such like. Your body would rather store fat instead. So knowing that, and also knowing that when we train, we build a lot of stress. Along with that stress comes cortisol. Along with that cortisol comes other things that are produced from your blood pressure raising and heart rate increasing and such like. So why I like to wait an hour is because I know my body is mostly interested in balance and harmony. So giving my body that time to reset itself is an advantageous trick to use, because being natural, see, if you're enhanced, it's a slightly different proposition from a physiological point of view. Your body is just thirsty to keep that muscle protein synthesis going. When you're natural, you have to generate a lot of muscle protein synthesis, and your body doesn't react the same way as it would do if you was enhanced. So being 50 now and adding that to the scenario, you definitely have to think about longevity and vitality. So those things tell me that, well, I'm going to build up a lot of information. Now, building up a lot of information when you're 50 plus is probably a little bit different than if you're 30. Body can deal with it a lot better. Hence, recovery takes a little bit longer when you are 50 plus. So that's one of the reasons why I like to wait an hour. Science didn't need to tell me that. Mike Ismatel didn't need to tell me that. I just know from experience and a little bit of common sense and doing a little bit of research about the human body, how best to treat the human body when you're going to take it to task in the gym, and when it comes to recovery and bringing everything back to that harmonious position of balance and harmony. Now, next week, I will drop another video where I'll answer a couple more of the questions. So if you have any questions about post-workout nutrition, what you've heard today, what you didn't understand, or just a comment or an opinion, I'm glad to accept it. Just keep it respectful, because I always reply with respect. Now, whatever you do, look after yourself, and I sure will. And grow strong like an oak and don't wither like a leaf. And I will see you on the next bout of building natural muscle.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
When you download our free cheat sheet, not only will you discover the secrets to transforming your body and your life in your 50s faster than you ever imagined, you'll also discover how to gain muscle in your 50s. This will shock you, not only because of how easy it is, but the speed at which you'll see results. You'll also find how to lose weight in your 50s. We'll reveal the method that completely flips everything you thought you knew on its head. No fad diets, no grueling cardio sessions. And if you've been feeling like a dead car battery, it's time to get your energy back we'll show you how. Now, the link for this free cheat sheet is in the description.